What does it mean to be creative? Creativity is defined as the use of the imagination or original ideas. Pensacola is filled with creative minds, but I had the opportunity to meet with a person who not only knows the value of the imagination, but also obtains the skills to create an environment this area is desperate for. Caleb is the owner of Maker's Cafe and Espresso Bar, but before he crafted the shop from scratch in the middle of this thriving city, he was honing his skills as a photographer and filmmaker. With his experience in the creative industry, he now houses other artists and inspires them to grow in their God-given talent with a message to keep making. Mic check, 1, 2. We're good? All right. Hey, welcome, guys. Thanks for joining us on Pensacola Living Locale, where we sit down with local business owners and entrepreneurs in the hopes that you get to see the life of our beautiful city, Pensacola, and hopefully, ultimately, help you own the lifestyle that you're dreaming of. I'm your host, Cameron Weaver, CEO of Pensacola Living and local real estate agent. We're here today with Caleb Pierce, founder of Maker's Cafe and Espresso Bar. So Caleb, thanks for letting us come in here and turn the cafe into a studio.
Yeah, I love it. Thanks for having me on.
Absolutely, man. So let's get right into it. So tell us about what you guys bring to the table, so to speak.
Yeah. It's tough because, part of I think our journey of opening the coffee shop was, when you go to a new town, the first thing you do when you get there is all right, you get settled in, you're like, where are we getting coffee in the morning? That is the first thing you're going to do, and kind of it sets the tone for the rest of the visit, I think. Or it's like a hub, it's all right, we went there, we found out the other good eats. Usually people that like coffee are foodies or into things and stuff. Yeah. So it's really cool in that aspect, and I think so that's just something we really enjoyed and we wanted to bring to our city. It's all right, I would love for people that visit here or, just on vacation and stuff, because we have so many tourists and everything. Yep. It's cool if they come in and are like, man, this was such a good part of our vacation. Yeah. No, so and we're going to kind of unpack a lot of these things, but man, there's so many aspects of this coffee shop that I love because it draws a lot of that stuff out. So down to the nitty gritty, what are some food items and drink items that you guys do? Yeah. So one thing we try to do just as a whole is we try to be very intentional about the ingredients we use, just to kind of start it. Then we get into details of what specifically we have. But, a big, I have kids, you have kids, and, sometimes you go places and you're your kid looks in the bake case and you're I really don't want them to have that because it's just not something you would want to give them. Yeah. Here we have sweet treats, but the ingredients are as good as we can get for the type of business we have. Yeah. It's not everything's organic, but what we can, we do. So it's when a kid comes up and I want that cookie. I'm you know what? This thing's got good ingredients in it. There's no fillers, unnatural stuff in it. No. I feel good handing a cookie to that parent. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. So tell us, how did you guys come up with Makers? Yeah. So my wife actually came up with the name. We were in late 2018. We started having this vision for wanting to start coffee and all that stuff, get the shop going. And my wife came up with the name. We were just spitballing, just what's some names and stuff. That one really stuck out, and it was cool because of our background. I have a photo and video background, and she was doing she does a lot of family photos and stuff, and we used to shoot weddings and all this stuff, but we had this creative background at least, and it was cool because we're makers, and then now it's we get to create a place for other makers to come into. But that just goes back to being believers. It's just being obedient to what is next in front of you, instead of trying to get ahead of it and be well, I'm a videographer, so I need to make this work. Yeah. And then I get into something I wasn't actually intended to do. Talk to us about the architectural developings of this. Did you guys hire an interior design, an architect? Yeah.
Where'd the design come from?
Yeah, so we started with the coffee cart, and so we're doing events and stuff. And randomly enough, there was a girl in town. Her husband's in the Coast Guard, just being, everybody comes here to learn how to fly a plane. And so her husband was here. She's an interior designer from LA.
Okay.
And she came up to us and was like, "Hey, you guys ever gonna do you have your own shop?" Like, she didn't know us, And no, and then we just got to talking, and she's like, "Well, if you ever decide to do one, I'm an interior designer." And we actually helped start one in Nashville. And I was like, "Oh, okay, that's cool," And she was like, "I'd love to help out." And so we ended up, fast forward a little bit, we ended up being able to have a space, and then we're like, well, we do need to what are we gonna do with it? Just didn't know. We have style, I think, personally, but coming up with this and really thinking about it, just to get the ball rolling a little bit, it was nice to have somebody help. So it's we were like, yeah, we didn't think about asking anybody else. We just hit it off, and it was so good.
Right.
And so, but yeah, me and my dad framed out the entire place. It was an empty shell.
Interesting.
And it had different floors. There was no bar. It was a retail space.
Okay.
There was stuff on the walls of for clothing racks and stuff like that.
Right.
Ripped all that off. But I mean, it was a lot of long, I would do video stuff some days and then come here and then go home, put my kids to bed, come here and work 8 to 2 in the morning, just depending, not all the time.
Right.
It was it actually felt easier than it sounds,
Right.
There was just a lot of grace on it, I think, to be able to do and stuff. And my wife was fully bought in, so that helped a lot.
Right. Yeah. No, so you mentioned earlier doing things with excellence. And I think that really is what sets businesses apart. Is you do, and we were talking earlier, you walk into an atmosphere and you can just tell that people do things well because they have a higher conviction in that standard that they're really trying to do things for serving others. So certainly whenever you walk in the doors here, everything is just spick and span, it's spotless, it's clean, but there's a vibe here, man. Very cool. Well, hey man, thanks for jumping on here today with us. And I don't know, it sounds like we've got a lot of at least from a business mindset, a lot of similarities, just having a servant's heart, a servant's attitude towards helping other people. I know that's what drives me. And I hear you expressing the same thing. So that's really cool, man.
Appreciate it.
Awesome. All right, man. Well, guys, thanks for sticking with us through this. You guys can hit like, subscribe, and we'll see you next time.